So welcome to another Guy's Little Helpers video. I apologise, my voice doesn't sound great, unfortunately it is that time of year. It's a very damp November day here. We are finally getting all the rain that we didn't get in the summer when everything was growing and we could have done with it. But yes, today I wanted to have a little chat about this is sort of the first in a series, if you like, of particular problem products that I have noticed within the cosmetics industry that I would like to do something about. And the first one of these I want to talk about is this. Now, I'm sure you recognise this product. So lip glosses are everywhere, and unfortunately, they're a bit of a problem. And so here you can see this is a typical ingredient list. This is for a lip gloss which is available from the major retailers here in the UK. And you can see this is fairly typical for an ingredient list for what claims to be a very nice quality lip gloss. It's not cheap, I can tell you that. And you can see this list looks quite terrifying, as unless you're a chemist, you probably can't pronounce the majority of it. Now going through this list, the first thing that obviously leaps to mind is just how many chemicals they've put in there. And that is because instead of using whole sort of plant extracts as a natural formulator would do, obviously they've extracted particular chemicals. Now, there's even a couple of actual natural ingredients on this list. I mean, we can see jojoba oil here. I don't know why it's mentioned twice. Maybe they really liked it. And here we have, that's the Kiss Me Quick plant, isn't it? It's known, so I'm going to put it in lipstick, which I believe only comes from Brazil, so I've just find that half around the world. But I would question how well any natural products or natural ingredients would work in a formula that is entirely synthetic chemicals. You see, when people started to get more concerned about the effect of synthetic chemicals and so on, it became a thing that a lot of commercial type, brands became very keen on putting certain natural ingredients in. Oh, I put this plant in my product. Isn't that wonderful? I'm now a natural, eco brand. That was sort of their marketing thing. And unfortunately, all the evidence suggests that putting a few plants into a synthetic chemical formula simply doesn't work, because the synthetic chemicals are just too powerful and they destroy the beneficial properties of the plant. So you want to be very skeptical when you see something that is very obviously entirely synthetic and then it says, oh, and it's got some chamomile in it, so it will be great for your skin. No, it probably won't, actually. In the case of this, some of the as for these long scary chemical names, I mean, some of those that you can get organic versions of them, but they are usually that much cheaper to make synthetic. Some of them are only synthetic. I strongly suspect, say everything on this list is synthetic, apart from the oil and the plant extract. And then we've got some curious ones here, because we've got mica listed here, but it hasn't actually given the CI numbers for it for some strange reason. I thought you were supposed to, but it hasn't on the label, so we have no idea what kind of mica that is. Now, that may have been made in a lab, it may have been mined, but if it was mined, naturally, where was it mined? Because mica is obviously notorious for being irresponsibly mined. It's in a lot of places it's mined by child labour, who are obviously sent down very unenvironmentally responsible mines until they die of lung disease. And unfortunately, those communities, obviously, they have no choice in the matter. And if you search for the if you search for the Responsible Mica Foundation, you can find more information about this. And as many other charities would tell you, that doesn't mean you should stop buying mica, because if you stop buying it, those communities will starve to death anyway, because they rely on this. So instead, what you want to do is you want to find places that sell responsible mica. The Responsible Mica Foundation, as I say, will help you find various places. Obviously, needless to say, the mica that I use is always responsibly mined. Yes, that's far better than say boycotting it altogether, because that way you support communities that pay fair wages and do not allow child labour, etc. And that obviously will put those that do out of business. Obviously forcing the people who pay for it to actually pay people fair wages, etc. So we don't know what kind of mica this is, and obviously we don't know where it came from, which is suspicious before we start. We've got the titanium, these are natural mineral pigments, sort of, not pigments exactly there. What do they call them? Let's make it glitter. Buying agents. I'll remember eventually. Anyway, since the CI numbers start with a 7, it does indicate they're natural, but you can see the colours are not, so they're all synthetic. We don't know what they are. Again, there's particular things of concern here. For example, obviously we've got parfum listed. We've got just fragrance. That could be absolutely anything, because perfumery, the sort of historical thing with that was French perfumiers. They blame it on. I don't know if that's actually true, but I could well believe it, refused to sign up to the EU cosmetics legislation if they had to declare their secret recipes for perfume, and so therefore all fragrance things are exempt from being declared on the label, so that perfumiers don't have to reveal their secrets. But unfortunately that doesn't mean that, yes, this fragrance could be absolutely anything, and a lot of fragrance compounds unfortunately have been found to be carcinogenic. Doesn't necessarily stop you using them. There's other, as I say, most of these things, it's very difficult to know what the hell they are. They're allegedly safe, but or they wouldn't be on sale. But that doesn't mean that there aren't concerns. They are mostly synthetic chemicals. Here we've got that is made from petrol. It's a petroleum derivative, so that's really lovely and environmentally friendly. It's going to do so much good when it gets out into the waterways. What else have we got here now? Is that not the one that was shown to be an endocrine suppressor? People are very concerned about it. Yeah, we've got a whole load of things here. These are basically all sunscreens, essentially, so it's to make your lip gloss into a sunscreen. Not quite sure why you need that really, but there you go. Because I feel like that could be more effectively done with just the zinc oxide, natural pigments and all. But yeah, the thing is, what you're looking at here is a chemical cocktail. Yeah, it's so unnecessarily complicated, and as I say, all of this sort of petrol and various other synthetic chemicals. Do you really want to be plastering them all over your lips? You can see things here that they're used as plasticizers. This is usually put in paint. You really want to put paint, plastic and petrol all over your lips is the question I would ask. You can end up swallowing some of that. And yeah, it just doesn't strike me as terribly healthy. So obviously that's why I've decided to keep it very, very simple. And then we come on to the packaging. Now these ones are the only ones I could find still left. These are actually relatively expensive lip glosses. They don't look quite as cheap as most of them. The sort that they put in, I don't know, you used to get them in Pass the Parcel games when I was a sort of teenage girl. I don't know if that's still a thing, probably showing my age. But unfortunately I don't seem to have any of them anymore to show you, but here is a picture of what I'm talking about. But you know what I mean. Right. But regardless, all lip gloss packaging is pretty similar. You can see, obviously, there's a plastic. The whole thing, obviously, is plastic. And then, obviously, inside it, you've got this plastic wand. And, as I say, these are actually slightly posh ones, so they have got a brush on the end. Usually, you've got a little spongy bit at the end there. Now, what's the problem with this packaging? Well, just about everything. It's not actually very good for the product, because what you're doing obviously is you're going to take this out, and you're going to put the brush over your lips, and then you're going to stick it straight back in there. Now, you're a human being, so you've got a lot of bacteria on you, and that bacteria is going straight into there. Now, as I said in the ingredients, lip gloss does not need to contain any water, but you've now introduced some along with a load of bacteria. Which is not ideal. That's why I said, I mean, this lip gloss tells you can only keep it 6 months after opening. This one actually says you can keep it for 18 months. So I dread to think what they've put in this. Unfortunately, I have no idea where I got this from. I just found it in the back of a cupboard somewhere, and I got it out to show you. So, yeah. I don't have the box, so I don't know what's in it, but anyway, either way, it's just not ideal from a health and safety perspective. But we then come on to the environmental cost. Now, see if it's Now, you know, some companies will sort of tell you, oh, we recycle our packaging, and sometimes it will say on the box, you know, oh, please recycle this. Well, I'm sorry, you're not recycling this. You can put it in a recycling plant or something, if you so wish. But this kind of plastic is impossible to recycle, according to the experts. So if you do some research on this, they will tell you that small cosmetic packaging is not recyclable. It is never recycled. You also can't really reuse it. I know there are some companies now that are asking sort of, oh, donate your old makeup products here. Honestly, I don't exactly know what they're doing. It's quite a recent phenomenon that they've been doing that. I don't know what they're doing with it exactly. But I mean, I looked into the possibility of trying to say, well, okay, return these and I can reuse them. You cannot sterilise them, because of the way that you can see all the lip gloss is all up in the bits and everything, and this bit just doesn't sterilise properly. Because it's all plastic, it's not like you can just pour boiling water over it, it's going to melt. It's just really, it's really awful. And there's only one place that's going to end up, you know, straight up a turtle's nose. I mean, it's going into the sea, and it's going to be there for probably thousands of years. These are just absolutely terrible from an environmental perspective. This is why I'm picking on lip gloss as one of my first sort of things to pick on. And this is not to be read as a sort of a personal attack on anybody who buys it. It's just, you know, you can't buy it in any other way. This is how it's sold. I've never seen it sold in any other way, and this is awful. And it's the manufacturers that should be, you know, giving themselves a hard look about this. Yes, you see this one actually has that little symbol on that most people think means it's recycled or recyclable. It doesn't. It means they paid some money to a company to use the logo. And they donate money to a recycling charity or something, and that's how they get this. But the logo is fake, so it's just a con, really. Let's be honest. Because they use it because they want people to think it's recyclable. So, question. Anyway, to finish my critique, well, actually just lambasting of this packaging, is actually, it's not very practical. It may look practical, like, oh, isn't it easy to slip into your handbag, and that's why they do it. But actually, think about this from your perspective, right? A lot of these, especially these types of ones, they're actually really quite expensive. And when you look at the size of them, I mean, this is the size of, how much lip gloss are you actually getting in that? Well, you can actually read on here. So this one says it's 7.5 millilitres. And this one, which you can see, it's kind of, how well you can see that, but it's kind of, oops, it's kind of fatter, and so it looks like kind of has more in. And yet, it actually says it contains 3.36 millilitres. And for those who are interested, that is 0.2 ounces, or 0.11 respectively. Now, that's not actually a lot. And one of the reasons for that is because however much you think you can fit into there, and I'm going to show you for comparison, I've got here, I don't know which ones are similar. Yeah, that's pretty similar. That's almost exactly the same thickness. So if you can see, sorry, the light's not very good. Yeah. Right. So you can see these are about the same thickness as each other, and this one is actually taller. So logically, this should contain more than this. This is a 10 milliliter bottle, okay, and I've measured that myself, so I know it is 10 milliliters. And this is clearly bigger, but only contains 3.36 milliliters apparently. Now, the reason for this, why this is the case really, is because when you look at it, obviously, you see how much that wand, you see how much space that's actually taking up when you put it, and it's obviously, you can only fit it around there. They may also not have filled it very well, I don't know, because obviously the pigment kind of pours over the bottle, makes it look full. It may not actually have been ever full. But the thing is, when you put it in, because of the way it works, you can't tilt that wand to the sides very well at all. Also, it's very hard to see, but as it gets emptier, you can often see with them that the wand doesn't go anywhere near the bottom. And so you're actually wasting a huge amount of product. You're taking up all that space in the bottle with the wand, so you don't get very much in to start with. And then you can't get it all out. And yet they still charge you quite a lot for that. So when you actually look at how much product you're getting, and often you're fooled by looking at, oh, that looks quite a lot. Really? It's 3.36 milliliters. That's not very much. So, I think you're being a bit diddled there with a customer. So, what is the solution? Well, in terms of the ingredients, obviously, you can make sure that everything is plant-based and that we're not using any synthetic materials at all, in particular in the flavour oils. So, the lip gloss that I am going to be selling will be entirely organic. Obviously the mineral pigments that I'm using are, by their very nature, cannot be organic, but all of the other ingredients are. They are all plant-based, so there is nothing toxic going into this lip gloss, and that also means obviously it is entirely biodegradable. And yes, as I said, that does include the flavour oils. I have used a couple of essential oils where possible. You're not actually allowed to use many essential oils in lip products, unfortunately, so I've only used the ones that obviously you're allowed to use. And then I've got organic, entirely plant-based flavour oils, which I'm going to be using. The mineral pigments that I am using, oh, look at these gorgeous colours. These obviously use mica from responsible sources. They are not produced by child labour. And obviously, again, they are natural mineral pigments, no filler products like, you know, the very suspect talc, for example. So, what about the packaging? Well, the solution that I have come up with, and I hope you think it's a good one, is to use these tins. Now, these obviously are aluminium tins, so they're quite durable, they're very easy for me to sterilise, which means, as with many of my things, you can return them to me, you'll get a discount off your next order. I can reuse them again and again, and they are then recyclable. And when they do obviously end up in the environment, they're not going to do the kind of harm that plastic does. Now, these are 10 millilitre tins, so as I showed you with a 10 millilitre bottle, this is a lovely science experiment, isn't it? The volume thing, isn't it, with the, you know, how are they the same size? Well, they are, take my word for it. So yes, you're going to get the amount you get in that bottle, which you can see is very comparable to what you'd get in a lip gloss container like this one. But as we said, this actually only contains just over 3 millilitres of actual lip gloss. This will really contain 10 millilitres, so you're actually getting your money's worth. You're getting what you see is what you get. And yes, this is going to be a nice little tin. These are obviously nice coated aluminium, therefore cosmetics, so they're not going to rust or anything, and it is all non-toxic coating. So yes, you can still obviously pop one of these in your handbag, quite convenient. But you may well be thinking, well, what am I going to put it on with? Well, that is why I've got these now in my shop. Now these are, you can see they're ordinary lip gloss wands. I know, they're hard to see, but except they're not made of plastic. Obviously this is bamboo, which is a wonderful renewable resource because it grows so quickly. And you've got your nice fluffy wand on the end. So what you can do, you can get one of these, and obviously you can use it like normal lip gloss. This is invisible lip gloss because I've got it in here because I wanted to show it to you, but not tip it everywhere. But here is some. But yes, you'll be able to use this as a normal lip gloss. Now, yes, as I hope you will agree with me that we really do, we need our planet. We're all going to die without it. So, yes, I hope you'll sort of join me in my opinion that this is a better solution. Obviously, with this wand, I've actually tested this out doing this, and if you just dip in a little bit and you get it all on your lips, then the wand actually comes out reasonably clean, to be honest, because, you know. But obviously if you're putting it on at home when you're doing your makeup before you go out, it's super easy because you can then wash this, and that obviously makes it so much cleaner than dumping it straight back in the lip gloss every time. Just saying. Because yes, as I say, you can give this a nice wash and leave it to dry out, and then you've got a much more sanitary way of putting your lip gloss on. Obviously, if you do want to carry them in your bags, I know a lot of people do, you can easily pop this into your bag, and you can just pop this into, if you've got like one of those little plastic bags that you get in so many things these days, good way of reusing them. You can just pop that into there if you want to put it into your bag. But as I say, it doesn't actually come out all that sticky if you don't put too much lip gloss on it. So yeah, I think that works really well, and yeah, I hope you agree, because we need more eco warriors on this planet. So yeah, please do consider switching to the more eco-friendly alternative to something that you can show up a turtle's nose. Thank you. Of course, two of them out in front, except for the one that's not the one. I mean, there's 3 of them, and you've got 2 right down front and 1 buried at the back. Well, guess which one I'm looking for? Yeah, the one buried at the back. Okay. So, what about the packaging? Things in my cupboard are trying to escape from me. Right, we'll try that again.